Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to into Bitcoin. Big CoinsKid crew. So right now the interest over time for Bitcoin is showing that we're just in this massive sideways boring range, for Bitcoin. And not many people are really paying attention to it. Although you think they are, you can clearly see that over YouTube as well. Channel views have dropped, subscribers have dropped, things like that. There's not much engagement. It's a little bit boring, a little bit flat. So these are the times in which you should realistically just be buying Bitcoin and waiting for, looking at Google Trends, waiting for the interest to come back. And the bullishness, the sort of I'm going to buy Bitcoin and make £1 million sort of thing, or hairdresser telling you to buy Bitcoin, or your taxi driver or whatever, giving you a tip to buy Bitcoin. They're the sort of things that you sort of hear of round about here in the Google interest over time. So this is an amazing indicator. I remember looking at this indicator throughout the last cycle in the trough, or the depression, the blood. And I just always remember when it gets really high in the sky, that is a very strong area to just sort of take some profit. And this is why in April 2021, when we were taking off up here, in the interest over time as well as the bearish divergence, a big rising wedge, for me it was a confluencing factor that we were going to come in for that big crash. But what I didn't think, and I'll be honest, I always hold my hands up, I thought we'd get another leg up, to be honest with you. We did. We obviously put in a new all-time high for Bitcoin, but I think the actual cycle top is April 2021. There's so many sort of confluencing factors to that particular theory that I've got as well. The last big move up was April 2021, and ever since then with a massive correction, it's come down, shaking people out. But in my opinion, it's just been an opportunity for the next leg up for Bitcoin. Although the perma bears are jumping on just like they were here, throughout all this depression, this blood, this up and down sideways movement for Bitcoin. I remember all the perma bears then, the likes of crypto savvy and people like that, were calling for like $500, $300 and things like that, and they're doing pretty much the same now. They're jumping on that sort of perma bear bandwagon where they're calling for lower prices when realistically the data suggests that Bitcoin has put in its low. So at the moment we are theoretically in levels like this before a big ramp up. So in theory, just like in this cycle where you should have been buying Bitcoin and selling when it was really overheated in the interest over time, we should just be buying Bitcoin and then selling when this chart gets to really over, not necessarily overbought, but the interest is through the roof again, isn't it? So it's just a sentiment indicator, and this to me is retail. So a lot of people in the chart say, oh, retail ain't got the money to buy Bitcoin and all this, but retail doesn't buy this. Retail is conditioned to sort of sell into this to the market makers, the smart money basically, and then they come back in and they end up buying these big impulses at the top of the trend, thinking they're going to make money. And anyway, it's nothing I say is financial advice. It's just a sentiment indicator. Google Trends, Bitcoin sentiment over time. You can clearly see we're in the trough right now. So for me, this is just a beautiful little indicator, although it doesn't feel like it, that you should just be accumulating Bitcoin for the next big run up when we start to experience something like this again. So anyway, let's dive into the charts right now and see what we can see for Bitcoin. So looking at the DXY then, I'm going to try and get a little bit more sort of newsy on this channel, because I know a lot of people get bored of just seeing TA all the time. For me as well, it's difficult because sometimes with Bitcoin it just goes sideways and it's really difficult to talk about the same thing every day, keep you updated as best I can. But I will start to get a little bit more fundamental analysis, news analysis and things like that into these videos for you, okay? And obviously, if you're looking for more great content, then please definitely do check out the Discord. It's an amazing community, and a big thumbs up and thank you to each and every single one of those people in there just contributing to the content every day in there, okay? Because obviously I can't look at every single chart. We take token requests in there and things like that for technical analysis and other things. We've got great fundamental analysis in there as well, so definitely do check out that Discord right there. So right now I think that the DXY is in a technical target. We've met this first target of this wedge, and I wouldn't expect the DXY to at least turn around and potentially Bitcoin to kind of confirm the bottom here before this runs into this resistance. This is something I'm trying to convey to you. So I think what we've done here, we've got this sort of big V-shaped recovery. We've broken out the wedge, we've back tested this as support, and right now we're marching towards this level here, this technical target for me. But we have run into, and I did say this to you yesterday in XRP video, the 382, I expect it to run into that and then retrace, okay, because it's getting a little bit overheated, isn't it, the DXY? So a little bit of retracement is an opportunity to go long on some of them altcoins as well as XRP and Bitcoin, and so far so good. We've found a lovely little bullish divergence as well on some of them coins, and they're playing out right now. So like I said to you, you can make money in this space, riding the waves up and down, it doesn't matter. You'll keep an eye on this DXY. At the moment, you've ran into the 382 like an absolute boss. This is why fibs rule. I've always said that fibs rule. on the absolute nose. Look at that, 382. So I do think, like I said to you, that's technical target. So I wouldn't get too excited just yet until we actually hit that and see the reaction at that particular point as well for the DXY. But what I'm looking for primarily before we get too excited is the fact that this will run into resistance and then begin to roll over again. If we do begin to roll, this will keep an eye on this leg, because if it does start to come back and then breaks again, then this will start to create uptrend structure basically, and then we really have to consider a sort of larger macro correction right here for Bitcoin. Okay, but until then, I do think, and I've gone through this with you, we are on a continued downtrend here for the DXY, and this is some kind of little bull trap, and we're obviously in a C wave, which is always a bit of a bull trap. It gets people really bullish, and then on Bitcoin as well, we're experiencing some kind of C wave, which is a bear trap basically, before continuation of the overall trend, which in my opinion is up. Okay, and I've gone through this with you. So with that, you know, there's loads of confluencing factors in other charts as well. I'll quickly show you those. Okay, so cycling through the charts then, I brought this to your attention recently, the Russell 2000 index. I think this is more correlated to Bitcoin than any other stock chart, to be honest with you. The reason is because I think that area there is the top for Bitcoin, and we created this massive sort of ABC correction here in the Russell as well, and a regular correction, and that was the top of some kind of bull trap and a B wave. So we've got some kind of A, some kind of B, and then boom, we were in that massive horrible C wave. Okay, which again you can see consists of 5 waves. You've got the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4 and the 5. Okay, some kind of ending diagonal wave C basically. So I think this has been in a regular ABC correction as well, and the confluence is around about here, you know, some kind of A, some kind of B, C, and right now we're kind of carving out this structural bottom before continuation to the upside. Okay, so I think this has been a whopping correction since that point there, and I think as well we've looked at it has got bearish divergence, hasn't it? Just like Bitcoin, the bearish divergence began just there, and again look at the overextension from the EMAs. We come back into it, created a false high, and then boom, dropped. And all we did, if you take a look at it, was swing high, swing low, find support on this swing high here that you'd never back tested as support, and right now we're compressing, looking to go again. So this is the reason why I can't actually be bearish, okay, on stocks and Bitcoin at the moment until we break structure of this massive monster reversal pattern. It's just confluence to my theory that Bitcoin is looking at a massive move here, you know, and stocks and things like that are just showing us that. It's not bullshit, it's not hopium, it's just there. Okay, so until we lose that, i.e., you know, this particular chart starts to break down, we lose the ascending level of support and things like that, then for me, you know, I've got to be looking at this compression pattern leading to expansion, which is a massive monster ascending triangle over a long period of time. Equally in here as well, what we have got is this potential cup and handle where we come back in the handle right now. Everyone's getting super bearish whilst the DXY is taking off into space, but this is providing opportunity. Okay, if we come back like this and hold this support and this starts to come again, then you know you've got a massive cup and handle pattern here with a breakout target. So if this thing, you know, has found a bottom and we've got this A, B, C, just like Bitcoin, and right now we're compressing, looking for continuation, then where's the next target on this particular chart? So my minimal target is always a 1272. So I think that's your true top just there for this particular chart. That's an irregular B wave. So I'm going to go off the bottom. That's the top. Let's get this knob on for you. So if anyone's trading the rut, I'm looking at 1272 at least 2607, which is a new all-time high for this particular chart. So if I'm here right now, that's around about, what is that, a 40% move for this particular index. Okay, so anyway, let's dive into the next chart. But one thing, we'll keep an eye on this. If we do break down and we lose all this support, then this particular bullish reversal pattern is not actually playing out. So we'll keep an eye on this. Okay, let's dive into the next chart right now. So the next chart is a Dow Jones Industrial Average. The DJI is the ticker. We've been looking at this. I think the last time I showed you this particular chart, we've got this compression pattern here, this ascending triangle. We broke out. And like I said to you, you know, I don't think it will take off into space immediately. And what you usually see on a breakout, you fall back to the neckline of support. So look at that perfect back test at the moment of support. So until, again, this breaks down and loses the structure of a breakout, then this is looking for continuation, okay? Just like Bitcoin, just like the RUT, just like S&P 500, you know, they're in a clear uptrend at the moment until they're not. So what I'm looking at right now is a technical target that this particular chart is actually in, because I think what we've got is a left shoulder, a head, and then the right shoulder. And what we've done, we've broken out the neckline. We've got a little bit, you know, people taking profit, so on and so forth. And right now you're coming back, aren't you, into the neckline of support. So until you start to break down like this and lose all this and we trace deeper and things like that, I think that this is actually caught in a technical target, which is actually an all-time high. And this is exactly what you want to see if you're expecting Bitcoin and crypto to have a run and be bullish basically. So this is why I do show you so many charts as confluence to my theory basically, and it's not bullshit, it's not hopium. So right now, providing this breakout as backtest of support, we should be looking at this continued target to be met at 37784 for the DJI. Now remember how bearish everyone was here, okay, when this was coming down, but we were looking at this chart, it's consolidated, look at this beautiful inverse head and shoulders, coiled up just here as well, breakout backtest. If it holds this support and doesn't continue here to break down like this and loses a 55-year made, so on and so forth, we're looking at this technical target being met, and this is just superb, okay. And again, if you zoom out, you look to the left, there's your swing high, you broke through it like that, you fell back to its support, and then you're looking for continuation. Now a lot of people are looking at this chart as well, thinking that this is going to come up here and then roll into this massive bear. That is absolutely possible, okay, because if I do start to zoom out on this chart, you can see it's just, nothing goes up forever, basically. So we might get one last little squeeze out of this, making another high, and then we roll into a large correction. And this could be one of the confluencing factors to the reason why I do think we are just in the last wave here for Bitcoin, the final fifth wave before a larger bear market. And I've gone through this with you so many times that we're just in a larger cycle. It's a peak-to-peak cycle that's increasing every cycle by 2 years, and I've gone through this so many times, okay. So again, if you want to check out, just Google it, look in the YouTube videos right there, just peak to peak cycle. I did make a very extensive video on this theory that I've got, and I think the confluencing factor right now is what we're seeing in the DJI and some of these stocks that are looking for this sort of last push up, potentially before a big correction, possibly like the big correction of 2008. Look at that, the big financial crisis. We sort of get this final overextension, everyone gets super bullish at the top, and then boom, we have a big financial crisis, perhaps, who knows, some kind of recession or whatever comes later next year or anything like that, but at the moment I wouldn't expect this to absolutely take off into space, and it could be one of the confluencing factors to my peak to peak cycle theory, and the fact that we're looking at the end of the Bitcoin cycle towards the end of this year to the start of next year, so anyway, let's dive into the Bitcoin chart right now and see what we can see. So looking at Bitcoin on the 3-day time frame, we've got the bullish divergence that's playing out right now on the 1 fib, and I did bring this to your attention the other day. It's not a major move here, but it's a bit of a progress, isn't it? That the reaction off the bullish divergence just there is beautiful on the 3-day time frame. Now I wouldn't get too excited just yet. Obviously we're going to be patient and look for the technical target of DXY. We'll keep reminding you about that on a daily basis. We've got to wait for that particular technical target to be met, and once it does get met, we'll see what kind of reaction happens there. But my macro view at the moment still remains the same for Bitcoin, okay. I think that what we've got is a massive cycle here, and there's confluence in so many other charts as well, not just a Bitcoin chart. There's so many confluencing factors in multiple charts that I've shown you for a very long time, okay, that what we've got, in my opinion, is a massive cycle which has began for Bitcoin in 2018 right there, okay. We had a massive impulsive wave 1, a corrective wave 2, a huge impulsive wave 3, a corrective wave 4, and right now we're in this final fifth wave of a larger cycle for Bitcoin, okay, where it's increased in 2 years, peak to peak. There's the peak in 2013, there's the peak in 2017, and then we should in theory be looking at a peak late 2023 to early 2004, because the cycles are increasing 2 years peak to peak, okay. It's just a little theory that I've had it for a very long time, that we are actually in a broader cycle here. This is why I wasn't forecasting here this correction coming all the way down to around about 10k, which is just a normal bear market correction for Bitcoin. I actually think you've been in a regular correction that's qualified, down here. It's absolutely qualified that the correction's in. We've got the 5 waves in here, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right now we're looking for a 5-wave impulsive move followed by a corrective move, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave impulsive move as well. But inside of this particular correction, what we have got for Bitcoin, is the massive falling wedge. And like I said to you, when we did break out way back there in January, the technical target of this falling wedge, the minimal technical target, just like the wedge I'm showing you for the DXY, is the points of contact, okay, resistance. So that's what I think the wave 3 could actually get to for Bitcoin, the 46k, okay. I think that could be the wave 3 target, a minimal target on the next move up here for Bitcoin. You can see how swiftly these moves can come for Bitcoin, okay, when everyone's ultra bearish for Bitcoin, okay, how swiftly it can break out and move. So I wouldn't put it off the table, I wouldn't take it off the table. October, November, December could be a very fruitful time for crypto and especially Bitcoin, okay. So again, is it accompanied by ETF? Who knows? No one knows, but there's something gearing up in the charts right now for a massive move for Bitcoin, providing it can hold all the support through this correction that it's going through. Now, in my opinion, if this is right, okay, if this is right, and we've got this final fifth wave, then we've been in a massive cycle since 2018, and I think that in this zone here, in this big box, okay, Bitcoin potentially retest these highs, possibly some kind of triple top before rolling into another big bear market, a true Bitcoin bear market, okay, where you do see that big 85% drawdown and the potential 10k down there, okay, absolutely possible. So I'm looking at this on a daily time frame for you, trying to keep you updated as best I can. But if we do start to come up here and we take out this high, obviously we'll look at the fib targets and things like that, but you know, we've just got to get through this process of coming up the stairs in 5 waves, coming back in an ABC correction, holding the high lows and holding the structure of an uptrend, and then going again. So I think that one thing that could get people really bullish right now is if Bitcoin holds this low, goes through its correction and begins to come up. So this is a thing you could actually wait for, okay? And again, nothing I say is financial advice, but if we do start to hold this low and we begin to come back up when everyone's ultra bearish like they were there and like they were there, and then we get a massive move which is, you know, completely caught everyone off guard, but not the CoinsKid crew. If it does do that, then, you know, if we take out this high here, then I think everyone is going to flip bullish, okay? But you know, we already knew it was going to do that because of what we're seeing in the charts. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that update. But remember, in January of this year, I said to you, Bitcoin's broken out of a falling wedge. It's back tested the level of resistance as support. The technical target of that wedge is that point of contact there, and then obviously the all-time high there, 46k, and the all-time high at 69k. Hope you enjoyed that update. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. And remember, nothing I say is financial advice, but Bitcoin could be gearing up for a massive move, okay, once this correction's over. Take care, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the update. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Bye-bye.